and the crustaceans.
Yeah. They're so charismatic, aren't they?
Exactly.
So yeah, like, do you find that when you kind of, show your art to folks and like kind of talk about the science surrounding it, do you find that people kind of connect to it a little bit more?
I think so. And I think particularly when talking to we do like sessions for young children and school children at the museum. And a lot of them, if you ask like what they want to do, a lot of the kids really like drawing. And so when I'll show them the kind of drawing we get to do as part of a science job, they're really excited by that. Because I think people often think science is quite dull when actually it can be really creative.
Yeah. Whenever you have time, I'd love to see some of your illustrations.
Yeah. I'll bring my laptop next time.
I'm very, I'm very excited. Thank you so much for sharing.
There you go. There's a worm.
Oh, what a brilliant worm. Oh my gosh. That's so cool. What? You did that with your hands. Oh man, that looks so neat. Thank you for sharing.
That's okay. It's helpful to understand what the bits of the body look like.
Oh, viewers, I wish you could see this right now. Like, there's so many details, and she makes all of these like wonderful sea creatures look so dynamic. Wow, look at that. What is that?
That's also a worm.
A worm.
All worms.
Wow. I love worms. I'm a big fan now. I love the little legs. They're so cute. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing.
That's okay.
Evie, I know that you shared that you're a grad student and you're going on this expedition as part of like your grad requirements. Could you just talk to me a little bit about your pathway, about how you found yourself in the fields of volcanology and geology?
Sure. So I remember when I was really young, I went to Yellowstone National Park. I think I was in 5th grade and I loved it. And I never forgot about it. So then when you're in high school and it's time to choose your major for college, I thought, okay, what's something I won't, bore myself with for the next 4 years of my life? And so I chose geology, and pretty much instantaneously as I started undergrad, I just knew that I love volcanology. And so I've just kept with it all through undergrad and now into grad.
I think it's like brilliant that you're here and I'm so glad that you're here, that you're able to really experience what you're studying like in real time.
Yes, me too.
Yeah, like, so what are your dreams, like in regards to your career?
Well, okay.
Yeah.
I really want to work at a USGS volcano observatory on the west coast of the US. That would say is probably dream job. I'm not really picky at this particular moment. Any of them would be great.
And what has drawn you to that sort of position?
I think I'd love to be surrounded by volcanology for the rest of my life. Yeah.
I'm manifesting that into your future, and I see that it's bright and possible for you.
Thank you so much.
Is that like terrestrial volcanoes or a mixture?
So I think mixture, but mostly terrestrial. There's California, Yellowstone, Cascades, Alaska, Hawaii. So I'm sure Hawaii does some underwater stuff. The Cascades probably as well because it's the subduction zone. But mostly I am just now getting into underwater ones. Most of my undergrads was terrestrial.
That is so neat. Yeah, that you studied mostly like sort of terrestrial volcanoes. How do you feel about looking at the undersea volcanoes?
I like them just as much. I like them too. I would think it's harder for the public to get to see them as much. I'm very privileged that I get to be on this cruise and see this in real time, but I don't think that's something, if you live near a volcano on land, you're going to see it in your backyard, but underwater, that's not normally the case.
Yeah. The terrestrial ones don't have shrimp on them.
So. That's so true.
That is so true.
Valid point.
That's a very valid point. And yeah, I'm so thankful that we do have a live stream, that we are able to have an outreach component with our ship-to-shore interactions to different communities so that we're able to provide that sort of accessibility to the other folks who aren't able to join us on the ship. And I also think that it's a really great deal because you don't get seasick. So wonderful. Thank you so much for your insight and for sharing your story. Johan, the man who keeps us moving, how did you find your way as a navigator to this place and to this field?
I found my way here actually through my academic advisor during my PhD program. He was a former ROV lead on the Nautilus, Dr. Brennan Phillips. And yeah, I expressed interest on coming out on the boat and getting a little more cruise experience, and he put me in contact with some people, and here I am.
Yeah, I think that mentorship and connections are a really important component of our pathways. But what drew you to the ocean?
Well, that tale tracks back more towards my childhood, probably. My grandparents had a house in Rhode Island that was near the beach, and it was always one of my favorite experiences to come out for the summer and get to sail some small boats and hang out on the beach and race hermit crabs and all the good things like that, hunt for sea glass and shells, and just installed pretty early on a love of the ocean and enjoyment of that area, and that's actually where I ended up for college, in Rhode Island, studying the ocean. And yeah, I've kind of taken it more the technical route with my PhD, because, I don't know, tech is cool and it's fun to kind of further our capabilities to look at the ocean in different ways. And yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing your story. I also love hermit crabs. Can't get enough of them. We call them duk-duks back on Guam. I spent a lot of my childhood trying to have them race against each other, but most of the time they would just sleep in the sand.
Exactly, yeah.
But yeah,
we might, if we're lucky, see some hermit crabs on some of the dives.
Really?
You get some cool deep sea ones.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
I'd love to see a deep sea one.
But they look pretty much exactly the same as the shallow ones.
Pretty consistent,
Yeah.
huh? They found their adaptations and they stuck to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Johan, when did you say that you completed your PhD?
Just actually April 25th was technically my last day. So,
Woo! So can we all just give like a good round of congratulations to Johan. Dr. Johan, how does that feel? Being called that?
It's still settling in.
Yeah.
I still have a little PTSD from the experience.
Oh my goodness. Well, you know what? Let's talk about it. Well, you know, I was having a conversation with Johan yesterday about how he severely underpacked in the sort of snack section of his luggage.
Yes,
and
no snacks.
I feel like you don't have to self-sacrifice anymore. If I have cookies, and we need to get them into your hands to celebrate. You did a wonderful thing, and that's such a wonderful milestone. And I think you should celebrate in all the ways because you're amazing.
Thank you so much, Amanda. I would definitely try some cookies from Guam. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, of course. You won't get enough of them. They're really addictive. Yeah, you got some folks in the chat who are congratulating you right now. So thanks, everyone, in joining our celebration.
I have a quick question. Did we end up pulling a second Niskin or not yet? We just did the one.
You're muted, but...
Ben, we miss you on SBL. Hi, Ben, our friend.
Hi. So you missed all that. We did take 2 Niskins. I think they both
Like at the same time?
actuated. Not at the same time. Well, in the same area for sure. But
It was one right after the other.
Okay, okay.
Awesome. Thanks for checking in, Evie. And Ben, it's been about 15 years since you last sat in this seat on this ship. I really want to, could you tell us about your pathway to the ocean and to being able to do this work?
oh Lord, That's a very
That's at least
long.
it's at least 15 years. But let's get into it. We got time.
Yes, we do.
Well, boy, where to start? As a kid, I was born
What?
in Southern California, and
I was going to write them as 2.
so
I didn't realize we pulled 2. So
we,
the first one will be 16. The second one will be 17.
we spent a lot of time around the ocean and marinas and Catalina Island, for instance. And I always loved going down to the marina and just lay on the dock, and then you could look over the side, and there's all this growth that happens on the docks, and it was just an amazing cornucopia of life that would grow on there, and I loved it. So, but through my teenage years, my family moved us to Utah, and which I was not really accustomed for, made for, and so it wasn't until I was able to graduate high school and get out of Utah, I came straight back to California and hung out on Catalina Island, and again in my early 20s, and then from there it just went in crazy directions. But towards the end of my 20s, I was really looking for something more, and I always wanted to do something like this, and I was always interested in technology and figuring out how to do combine technology and ocean love. But I didn't have any like formal engineering degree or anything, so I decided to go back to school. And I was going to community college to get my my lower level or lower division courses for a bachelor's in electrical engineering, and I came across a robotics course at the community college in Long Beach, and the professor there, Scott Frazier, who's an amazing person. He was he was putting on this competition through MATE, if anybody's heard of MATE. It's the Marine Advanced Technology Education Center. And so I signed up for his course, and we started making these robots, and I was instantly hooked. I just couldn't get enough, and so I was spending all my time in the lab there at school, at almost 16 hours a day.
16 hours.
Oh yeah, as soon as I'd go in the morning to do my courses, and then as soon as I was done with my classes, I'd go back to the lab and we'd work on robots, and then go back and do classes, and then in the evening when they kicked me out, then I'd leave. But anyway, through MATE we did really well in the competition, and then after that I got through MATE an internship, and it might have been the very first MATE internship on this boat. It may have been the very first internship. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But it was definitely one of the first ones so many years ago. And at the time the Nautilus was in the Mediterranean, and they were doing amazing things. They just left the Black Sea, mapping a bunch of shipwrecks, and these were intact shipwrecks, and I was just thrilled. And I couldn't believe it. They were sending me out to the Mediterranean to be on this boat and work on these robots, and on this robot. And so I remember showing up to the ship, and this was in Turkey, and it was an adventure just getting to Turkey, but I was by myself, and nobody was there at the ship, and I just kind of wandered. It was a different time. I wandered on, and and I think Brendan was there eventually, but they got me situated, and I had no idea what was going on, but it was amazing. We took off, and I think we were looking at shipwrecks again, like more ancient shipwrecks, and along these coastal cities and along the Mediterranean, and it was like magic. I couldn't believe it. it's still one of the best times of my life. I have to say, it was amazing. So yeah, that's really where I got my start. And so I did that for 2 seasons in a row, and then I dropped out of college because I knew what I wanted to do. And then a friend of mine, Eric Martin, who had worked on this boat as well, who was working at the Monterey Bay Aquarium Research Institute, and he came out to work with Brennan for a cruise just to fill in, and he and I got along very well, and he got back home, and 2 weeks later gave me a call and asked me if I wanted his job because he was going to move on to AUVs, and I said, I'm there. So
Wow.
so it was then it was an interview process, and which spanned several months, and a trial cruise in Mexico, and yeah, that's really how it got started. It was just sort of it was all luck. It was basically just showing up to school, and then really just fixating on it, and making every little decision I made towards getting into this position. So that's it.
It sounds like to me that as an engineer, you engineered your way into becoming an engineer. Does that sound about right?
It's maybe the only thing I've made that worked. So
Yeah, spoken like a true engineer.
No, that's great. It was an excellent experience, the whole journey, and so it's been an interesting 15 years, that's for sure.
Yeah, and now you are a rugged, a seasoned adventurer, sailing the world on your sailboat.
That's right. Yeah. It hasn't stopped. It really does. You do really get a spice for it. You know, or a drive to keep doing it. Because like, what do you do after this? You know, it's hard to just go and there's no way I could work in a cubicle anymore. So so you have to keep going.
Yeah, definitely. I remember the first day I met you, I was just like, 15 years, really? And you were like, yeah, when you're in this life, it takes a hold of you. And I was like, why isn't that being quoted in a magazine anywhere? That's a headline right there. So thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and your story.
Oh, geez. No worries.
You're going to get 3 more weeks of this, so be ready.
No,
Buckle
that's
up.
great.
We're all going to miss it when it's gone. We're going to be like, who's boosting
Just text me.
up?
You'll get it from the future because we're a day ahead of everyone else. But yeah, Sarah, I know that you've had a pretty, a varied and colorful career pathway, but I'd love to know, like, how did you make your way to the ocean?
Oh, yes. So, yeah, I grew up in a small town that was just on the water, of course, in Michigan, so not surrounded by the ocean, but the Great Lakes. And, really grew a fondness for being out on it. And after school, just, there wasn't any programs like this. There was not, this small town girl, never heard of anything like this, like totally. No idea. I just knew I liked science and math and being on the water and in the woods. And, my first kind of career took me into the behavioral health realm. Really wanted to try and give back and be a part of community and help people set goals, achieve their own goals, and specifically I was a health coach, recovery coach, recovery from like substances and mental health conditions and chronic health conditions, and I really loved that. And worked in Flint as well during the water crisis, and that was really rewarding. And but then, for many, many years, it was like someday, like I want a college degree. I had gone to school for a little bit and had to drop out. Long story short, was a pole vaulter. broke my back 3 times.
Oh.
And the 3rd time was like, I'm done. And couldn't afford to go back to school then. And so thus went into the behavioral health realm. And no, and finally so many years, like I, see other people go to school and help them, achieve their goals. And they're like, well, what's your goal? When are you going to start working on yours? And I'd always be like, maybe next year, And in 21, I finally started back to school and was very lucky. The little community college I got into, I had no idea before, but when I met with the leads to say, hey, do you have anything kind of in this realm? They're like, you've not heard of our marine technology program? And like met with the heads and they showed me their systems and their boat and told me all about it. And they're like, yeah, like tomorrow we can be out on this and diving on the little wrecks out in the bay. And I was like, yes.
Yeah.
All in, yes. And from there on out, it was just nonstop. And, was able to get my associate through there. And I applied for every internship, scholarship I could get. And I was lucky enough, I was like a semester and a half in, and I got the mate internship.
You got it
even
too.
though people were like, don't even apply, we're a small school, like you don't stand a chance. And I was selected, and they matched me with Woods Hole Oceanographic Institute, and I was with the Jason team within a year of going to school.
Life
and
lesson there.
I was dying with excitement and disbelief. And because, all through school, we would live stream,
Wow.
Nautilus dives and Hui dives and Schmidt dives on projectors on the walls. We would meet like every Wednesday for Woods Hole and do the webinars and stuff. And like, oh, you couldn't even imagine, like the coolest job ever. You work your whole life, can't you? And a year later, like,
It's funny.
I'm out with Jason, and 2 years later, I'm out here with Nautilus, and
So awesome.
And that was just
So
on
cool.
a whim of meeting the right people and then also applying for everything and seeing a position open up here for a junior pilot or co-pilot for Atalanta, and was like, just why not? Just try. And tried and, was lucky enough to go through the process and be selected. And yeah, here I am. I mean, it's, I don't know, the stars have aligned. I absolutely love it. Every time I come out, I feel like a geek because I'm always like, don't believe it until we pull away from port and I'm like, oh, you're stuck with me. And then, yeah, this year I got to go out with, Schmidt Ocean Institute and work on Sebastian as well. And that is, I don't know. I don't know what has happened, and I am so grateful, and I just want to keep coming out, keep working. It's just the most exciting job to me. And the people I get to meet, it's just, I love it every time. I'm never like, oh, I wish I didn't go on that cruise. Instead, I'm always like, I wish I, should have signed up for more.
Ooh. Whoa.
What was that? Was that a Tinophore?
It looks like a Tinophore.
Yeah, it was a Tino. Wow, we got some bioluminescence on it.
What's
though.
up?
Dang.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so that's my story. So, and I'm, a little bit older, so at any point you can change your career, and who knows the amazing things that where you could be in 4 years.
Yeah.
It's just insane.
It's true.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I can attest from this being my second expedition with you that you have such an amazing and calming presence. The kindness.
That's how I feel about you. You're like a magnificent, wonderful being that just brings joy.
Thank you. I feel like the kindness just emanates from you so effortlessly. So thank you so much for being so generous and sharing your story with all of us.
Yeah.
I think it's like so inspiring to know that at any point in your life, if you just want something, you can go for it and just do your best and find yourself in places that you had never thought you'd be in. So thank you so much. Aaron, our wonderful person, our wonderful video engineer who has a zest for and love for the absolutely amazing wildlife in our world. Would you mind sharing with us your journey to the ocean?
My journey to the ocean.
Yeah.
It was quick. I was born in a commercial fishing family in Alaska, so we were out on the water right away. So pretty familiar with the ocean quite early on, actually. Journey to here.
Just like your love for the ocean and like how you found yourself here. I would love to know just like an overview of your career pathway and everything, Erin.
So I was going to be a veterinarian because I was from a small town and I thought that's the only job you could do with animals. I had never met anyone who worked in TV or on ROVs or any of that. So I went to Washington State University with the idea that I was going to become a veterinarian. And I was taking my prereqs, so I was pre-vet, and it turned out I hated it. And then I met a grad student who was studying lynx in this 1-credit fly fishing class. And within about an hour, he had convinced me I was in the wrong major, so
Wow.
I switched that day.
That day?
That day. Well, applied to switch that day. So I graduated in ecology, worked in ecology like in the field for a year. I went to Madagascar as a field tech, and I picked up this Costco camera package, like this suite with a couple lenses. It was blue. It was a Pentax. And I took it to Madagascar, and I absolutely fell in love with taking photos of wildlife. So then I found a grad program in England for wildlife documentary production, and I did my master's over in England, and then went to a film festival and met my first mentor, Mark Emery, who had shot for National Geographic and everything. Interned with him for a while, and that is around the time that I applied for the Nautilus internship. I had met someone at the film festival who had done it, and lucky enough, got on that. And I mean, early filming supplemented my career with working at my family. My uncle has an adventure lodge in Alaska, so I was like, whatever job they needed, shuttle driver, guide, waitress, did that. And then I commercial fished in the summers up in Bristol Bay, Alaska. And did the Nautilus internship, and for some reason they kept wanting me to come back, which I'm very, very, very happy about. And then kept doing wildlife filming. So when I'm not on the Nautilus, I'm filming wildlife for documentaries. So was an assistant and then became cinematographer, and now I'm a director of photography for wildlife films. So that was my path.
That's amazing. How do you feel when you kind of look back on things, on your life?
Well, it seems very, I was talking to Ed about this, my boss here, and it seems very linear when you look back, but it was not linear at all. It was all over the place. I was a nanny for a bit. I, did a bit of everything, it feels like. I just loved the outdoors, loved being outside. So, yeah, fell in love with that. Very fortunate. My family is very outdoorsy, very into boats and planes and bush planes and stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I love hearing it every time. It's so amazing. You did get a quick hello from Erin, from Linda in Arizona.
Oh, cool. Hi,
Yeah.
Linda. That's awesome. She's watching.
Wonderful. And we also got Biba, Amanda, and NA171 from Shelterina, one of our other science communication fellows in this current cohort. She'll be on NA172, which is our next expedition after this, also looking at the Mariana Trench Marine National Monument and some other seascapes over there. So, hi, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. We also got another comment that said, "What? That's beautiful. What a dope story." And I'm assuming that's a blanket one for everyone. So, great. Thank you. Excellent.
What about you, Amanda?
What about me?
Yeah, I was going to say, Amanda, you're not off the hot seat.
I'm not off the hot
turn.
seat. I'm trying to think about, like, this was, I think that I would say that my journey to loving the ocean started with collecting seashells along the beach when I was a little kid, because my dad and my older brother would take me to the beach after school almost every week. And like, it was just an amazing experience to be able to crouch down and look at, like, you know, the beautiful hermit crabs, like, doing their thing among the shells, and, you know, picking up each shell and making sure that it's not occupied. And then, and yeah, like, getting to look at, like, the seaweed flowing in and out of the low tide, and the fish that would swim up to me as I collected them, the water that would lap at my ankles. I found those moments to be really calming and very beautiful. And it was in those moments that I felt so connected to the world around me. I also ended up never learning how to swim. So that's been a
Really?
thing, yes.
Have
I know.
you learned now?
Huh?
Have you learned now?
I have not. So that's something.
That could be your goal.
Yep.
Didn't you have to? Don't you have to swim for the sea survival certificate?
There's a certificate. Well, let's hope I do still survive. We got lifeboats and life rings here.
That's what life jackets are for, right?
Yeah.
Just don't fall off the boat.
And we have life
But I mean,
jackets.
that's an old naval thing. My granddad was in the Navy and he
Yeah.
can't swim because they said it gives you false hope if you fall in.
Oh, that's
It doesn't prolong it, right?
that's pretty intense.
Yeah, that is the thing, because it's
Yeah.
not supposed to prolong it. Then you, that's really morbid though, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, you know,
But that's not going to happen.
no, it's all good. We're gonna be safe.
I think my dad learned to swim in his 20s before he joined the Coast Guard.
That's neat. Oh
It's
man,
never too late.
it's never too late. It's been one of my goals for sure.
Oh, that's awesome.
But yeah, you know, I've always loved the ocean, and it's always been something that has tied me to my loved ones. My older brother was a fisherman. He was a spear fisherman and loved diving. My dad was also a swimmer, and yeah, so I've always been very close to the ocean, especially considering I'm from Guam, where wherever you are on Guam, you're always 15 minutes away from seeing the ocean at all times. So I had no excuse not to love the vast Pacific that was around us. So
what's it like for you to be exploring it now? You're looking at this water like your whole life, and now getting to explore it. What's that like for you?
I want to say that it is possibly one of the greatest gifts and honors of my life to be here. Because I never thought that I would be in this room, but here I am. And I think that the Pacific is vast, and it is beautiful, and it is such an honor to be here in the waters of my home, and to be able to share all of that with you and our viewers from the rest of the world, especially the folks from Micronesia. So yeah, in addition to like my love for the ocean, I've also always loved telling stories and learning more about the world around me. My toys were mostly like old National Geographic articles that I would read that I was way too young to read. So I would have like a dictionary next to me as I tried to decipher this as like an 8-year-old. And yeah, I was always drawn to the sort of sense of adventure in these stories, and the way that these stories were told. I actually often got in trouble as a kid because I'd hold up the line at recess, because I'd have like a group of my classmates around me huddled around a tree, because I was telling them more about the beetles we'd find on that tree, because I didn't want them to squish them anymore.
That's so cool.
And so like I would be giving like tiny little nature classes just around like my elementary school. And so I want to say that like Nautilus kind of came into my life at around 2016 when I was 19 years old. And I was a sophomore in college, and I saw the video of the googly-eyed stubby squid, that purple squid that looks like a toy that was lost on the seafloor. Huge googly eyes, does not look like a real animal at all. And just hearing the excitement of the sort of folks in the control van in that moment was life-changing, because I had this perception that scientists were just like, kind of like to themselves, not very fun. But in that moment, I saw them as real people who got excited, who were curious, who were not afraid to kind of share in that enthusiasm. And I think that's really a special thing about Nautilus, is that you get to see us as the people we are, doing the things that we love. And in that moment when I was 19, a sophomore in college, I was deciding what my major was going to be. And there were no pathways to become a science communicator on Guam that I knew of. So I kind of decided to make my own way. I always loved telling stories, so I majored in journalism. After college, I became a broadcast journalist and a TV anchor for a couple years.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, it was a pretty intense and amazing experience.
In
but
Guam, for like a Guam TV channel.
yeah,
Oh, that's so cool.
That's
Yeah.
so cool.
yeah. So like I would get like folks recognizing me at the grocery store, being like, "Hey, you're on TV," and I was like, "Yes," and I'm here to buy potatoes.
That's so cool.
I want to watch that.
Me too.
Yeah, so like that was like, I still have the same haircut, so I'm sure you can find me somewhere on YouTube.
I'm looking after this.
And so yeah, during my time as a journalist, I covered a lot of environmental issues, and I got in touch with some scientists and getting to know some of the folks who were based in Guam, and eventually landed like a position at the University of Guam as a science communicator. And I connected with a bunch of these scientists who at the marine biology lab over there who were doing a lot of work just around our tropical shallow coral reef systems, ecosystems. And so I got to learn a lot about our oceans in that way. And along that way, during that time, I got to meet Dr. Nicole Yamase, who is the first Micronesian, first Pacific Islander to ever go to Challenger Deep in the Mariana Trench.
That's so cool.
Oh,
Like-
was that with the 5 deeps?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With Victor Vescovo.
Yeah.
She went down there in the submarine, and I was like, girl, I would never. That's so scary. You went down there physically. And yeah, and so like I met her the day after she did her dive. She kind of had a sort of stopover in Guam, and the person that she was with was someone named Jaya, and Jaya had been a navigator on Nautilus, and she was Filipino like me, and this was the first time I'd ever seen someone like me in this field. And she told me, hey, you're a science communicator. Why don't you join the Science Communication Fellowship on Nautilus? And I was like, that's a thing? And then she was like, yeah, that's a thing. I was on that thing. And I was like, cool. And I looked it up. I did a little bit more research, and I found out that Nautilus was the ship that recorded that googly-eyed stubby squid from years ago. And I was like, this is the room that I had been wanting to be in for years, for all of this time. And
Full circle moment.
right? And so a few years later, I really, in my heart, I really wanted to make it a point to, if Nautilus had ever sailed through Micronesia, I wanted to go on an expedition in Micronesia. And so a few years later, I had applied, and I got all like nervous, and I tried to put it away from my mind. And then I got an email that said, I got in.
That's so cool.
And I freaked out for 2 more weeks because I was like, is this real? And I was refreshing my inbox. I was like, and so I got to go last November to Palau, which if you've never heard of Palau, they have like such an amazing sort of marine sanctuary, and their conservation efforts are so excellent. We saw these lush like coral forests, many squat lobsters, yes, and shrimp.
Nice.
Like we saw like octopuses, squid, like so many things. It was such a wonderful and abundant and colorful place. And it was a dream come true. This was a dream that was at least 8 years in the making. And I did it.
That's so awesome.
And now I'm here, less than a year later, you know, kind of exploring and getting to learn more about the waters of my home. And it's wild to think that it's been less than a year. I'm really glad that my luggage was still half packed, so I didn't have to think about it too much. But
Are you going on any more this year or just this one?
so for now, it's just this one, but like, you know, I'm open to whatever.
If anyone's listening.
Yeah, nudge, nudge. But yeah, no pressure at all. This has been an honor in itself, and I'm grateful for any and every opportunity. This time here has been spectacular as always. But yeah, you know, one of the reasons why I joined is because like, after I got back home from, you know, sailing in Palau, there were a lot of folks who like would stop me at grocery stores and parking lots and being like, hey, you are the person next to the robot on the ship. And I'm like, yes, I was. Yes, I am. You know, if you're down, you should join and apply for these opportunities. And I felt like there was sort of like this hesitance when it came to kind of approaching these opportunities. And I really hope that by being here, I can let people know, people from not only Guam, but the Marianas and Micronesia, from the Pacific, that you can be here because it's in your heritage, because we come from sailors and navigators and from people who have lived in this place. And it is an incredible honor and a gift. And I'm so excited for all of you to join me and all of us. So thank you. That's my story.
That's so awesome. It just must be so unreal to be like, I looked at these waters my whole life, and they're like a huge part of my like story, and now you get to go explore them.
Yeah, definitely. I went just a day before we set sail. I actually got the chance to get off the ship and collect seashells again.
Oh.
And it felt like like you said, a full circle moment. And I was looking out to that sort of blue horizon, and I was like, wow, we're going to go out there and we're going to experience that. It was a really special moment.
No, that's cool. I think you need to write a book about it.
Thank you. I should.
You should.
But yeah, thank you everyone for sharing your stories. This has been such a lovely time as we go up and through this deep blue. We saw a ctenophore along the way, which was like so cool.
There's a few little copepods and things swimming around.
Cool. What are copepods?
They are also a type of crustacean. They're tiny they're called zooplankton, so it's a type of plankton that's like animal based rather than like a cyanobacteria or anything that's a bacteria. And I had a good fact about copepods that I can't quite remember. Like there's more, I was told this once, so if it's not true, it's not my fault.
Yeah.
That there are more copepods in the ocean than there are grains of sand.
What?
What?
That's wild.
Because they're like there's like
a tiny
billions of, they're so tiny. But you get them all like in the shallow water. You get them the whole depth of the ocean, all from right on the shallow down to the bottom of the Mariana Trench. You get copepods.
That's amazing. Are they like a sort of foundational part of the food chain? Like, do they get a lot of
so the bigger, it's like the plankton makes up the base, and then the bigger animals will eat the plankton. But you also get loads of really crazy copepods that are parasitic. And so these little copepods do kind of look like really tiny, weeny little shrimp, but you get these parasitic ones that you would never even guess were animals based on looking at them. They're just like, their body forms are so crazy. And they're so cool. I'm a big fan of those.
Wow, they're so neat. How do you identify them? How can you tell that it's a copepod?
To be honest, I don't know. There is someone who works on copepods at the Natural History Museum, and I've spoken to him about it before, and I just don't get it. I mean,
sometimes you just don't.
Sometimes it's not for me to understand. Someone says they're copepods, and I believe them.
Yeah, thank you for that insight. there's still a lot of things like going on as we go up. I think it's really cool that like as we descend and ascend that we get all this insight into like the different sort of layers of the ocean. Ooh, look at them go.
Yeah, that's okay. I'll come swap you out. Thank you. We might be coming up then, actually. Okay. Oh yeah, but if they're gonna still be on shift. Yeah, but if they're bringing on, I won't need to do it. Oh, you won't be on any like. I'll be on, but like there won't be anything to do. Okay. Cool. I mean, okay.
Looks like it's just around dinner time, so we're getting like a few folks from our from the other watch switching in to make sure that everyone gets fed.
I had cookies earlier, so
Oh man, those
not
cookies
hungry
were good.
for dinner yet.
They were so buttery and so crisp. Oh my goodness, our chefs, they really spoil us so.
There's a lot less desserts on this ship than other ships I've been on.
Ooh, tell us more.
On the British ships, there's a lot more like, you get pudding. Every day at dinner there'll be some kind of like cake or crumble or something with custard. There's always custard.
Oh man, that sounds like a dream. I love custard.
I actually don't really like it, but
Oh wow.
it's just, I just sort of have got so used to it that on ships there's always custard, and so the first dinner here I was like, where's the custard?
Yeah, interesting. That's so neat. So what is a British pudding? What is that like?
Pudding can, I feel like, encompass many things.
Mm-hmm.
There is certain types of dessert that are specifically called pudding. So like sticky toffee pudding is a pudding. They tend to be like quite dense and cakey and normally like steamed. But then also I would just call any kind of dessert pudding. Just like something sweet you eat after dinner is pudding.
Oh, interesting.
Whereas like American pudding is like soft, like
Yeah.
yeah, that no.
It's kind of gloopy.
Yeah. No.
Thank you.
There you go. That's my cultural insight.
No, thank you. That's wonderful. But yeah, who do we have in the front row tonight? Is that Isabella?
It
Hello.
is me, Isabella.
Hello.
Hello, Amanda. Yeah, I'm sitting in the ROV navigation spot. That's me.
Yeah, that's you. So wonderful. How are you doing tonight?
I'm really dandy, you know? Can't complain.
Yeah.
Trying out my first couple of watches in this new role, and it's going swimmingly. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Yeah, we were just talking about like, you know, our pathways and just like what brought us here to this room and to the ocean.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What brought you to this room besides the watch change?
Well, I was relieving a coworker for dinner, but what also brings me to this room, in 2023, I got an internship here doing the seafloor mapping work, and I was really enamored by the contract work, so I was like, oh, that's what I want to do. So 2 years later, I'm working in the contracting world for Ocean Exploration Trust and sailing on EV Nautilus, and the mapping has kind of progressed into the ROV navigation role as well, so dealing with that duality is really cool.
Yeah, that's super neat. What do you like about what you do? Oh.
Sorry, Amanda, I was communicating with the bridge.
No problem.
What'd you say?
Yeah, no problem at all. What do you like about what you do?
That's a good question. I think map making is historical, and I think it's also kind of like highlights, you know, areas of interest for humans, like what we're kind of trying to understand. So I think seafloor mapping is really interesting, understanding underwater topography. Right now I live in the Rocky Mountains in Colorado, and so I'm really enamored by like that landside topography, and it's really cool getting to translate that interest into like underwater mountain ranges, if you will, you know, those ridge lines, being out here in the Mariana Trench back arc region, seeing how plate tectonics are shifting and changing the landscapes in here, and getting to map that with like high resolution 3D maps is just like a dream come true. It's like not something I knew about a couple of years ago, so this internship has like opened up a whole new realm for work that I just didn't know existed in my undergraduate, so yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm so glad to hear that you're making all these connections between these sort of terrestrial and like like submarine landscapes. I think that's such a beautiful and interesting perspective to have.
Yeah,
with the world.
it's great whenever you're landlocked and you're like, oh man, I long for the ocean.
Yeah.
It's like, what? But you know, how did you land out here?
Me?
Yeah, what's your journey to this role?
Oh man, I just gave everyone
You missed it.
the premiere.
You missed the whole
This
whole
is the hard
thing.
part about us all being on different shifts. It's like, give me your life story, please.
Yeah.
You missed it.
I
Well,
missed
you
your
know-
life story.
Well, you know, I don't want to deprive you of it.
Please.
But
I'm
basically,
on the edge of my seat.
I will have to give you the condensed version, but I will give you the complete version at another time. But yeah, always loved stories. I started with collecting shells growing up, and there were no really science communication pathways here. So I kind of made it myself. I majored in journalism, became a broadcast journalist, and a TV anchor for a couple years on Guam.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why my voice is like this. And this is just kind of like the way that I was kind of, I learned how to talk. And
Yeah, I like your cadence a lot.
thank you so much. I think it's so important to make sure that any information that I give out is super accessible and understandable.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so after my time in broadcast journalism, I became a science communicator at the University of Guam.
No, I'm not doing that.
Learned a lot about tropical shallow reef ecosystems, so a lot of corals, a lot of algae, a lot of things. And
Wow.
eventually I met Dr. Nicole Yamase. She was the first Pacific Islander, the first Micronesian to ever go to Challenger Deep.
What?
And yeah, I know.
That's amazing.
I wrote an article about her. I interviewed her, and someone and her friend who was along with her was a navigator like yourself. Her name was
Wow.
Jaya, and she had sailed on Nautilus, and she told me that there was a science communication fellowship on board Nautilus.
Oh my gosh.
And so I had dreamed of being on Nautilus for years at that point,
Wow.
because I had watched the videos throughout college. And it was like just mind-boggling to me that an opportunity like this existed.
Yeah.
And so I waited a few years because I wanted to make sure that if I ever sailed, it would be in Micronesia, in the Pacific. And
oh my gosh.
I got to sail in Palau in November last year, and it was a dream come true in every way.
Oh my gosh.
And it was amazing. And
That's really beautiful.
less than a year later, probably less than 7 months now, I'm here in the waters of my home. And I think that's a special and an amazing honor. So thank you
Yeah, we're so
for
honored to
asking.
be in your home country's waters. It's like, it's truly such a beautiful full circle story. I love that.
Thank you so much. The water's very blue.
So blue. All the shades of blue.
But yeah, thank you for sharing your wonderful story, and thank you for listening.
Oh, man.
And let's see, in the pilot seat for Herc, is that Mike Hannaford?
It is, but he doesn't have a headset
no headset on.
He doesn't have a headset on. Oh my goodness. We're missing you on here.
He says what?
We're going to have to get back to you. Someone's being a little sneaky. He's one of 3 mics on this expedition.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's Mike Labriola, there's Mike Burns, and there's Mike Hannaford. And I know the 2 other mics, but I don't know this mystery mic. So this is a conundrum. Sneaky, sneaky. Is that still Sarah?
It's me.
Hi, Sarah. Just wanted to say
Yes.
hi, because I know that there were some switch outs.
Nope, I ran down and stashed some food and grabbed a cookie.
You were efficient,
So
as you always are.
that way after we recover, then I'll go eat.
What depth are we at now?
At 322.
Okay.
Welcome back, Johan.
Thanks. Good to be back.
Yeah, hope you had some food in you.
I
Some
do.
nourishment.
Yeah.
What's on the menu today? Could you spoil it for us?
Oh, I mean,
What were some of your favorites?
yeah. What I did this evening was they had like an orange mix with some chicken, kind of like a saucy style thing. Not the more Asian style, but just like a kind of like grilled or baked chicken. And I put that over some rice, and they have this great like guacamole salsa type thing. Put some of that on the side and threw in a few other vegetables. They had this really great eggplant mixture and some broccoli.
That
And a
sounds
banana
lovely.
for dessert.
Yeah, a lot of good fiber, a lot of vitamins. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for that insight.
Mm-hmm. There's also some pizza down there.
Ooh, pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Need some balance.
Yeah, there was a whole thing of them.
Yeah. Ben, we missed you. How are you? Did you get some nourishment? There was a mystery man in your chair. He didn't want to put on his headset. And I was just like, who are you? One of 3 mics.
Some random guy who walked in.
Yeah. We don't know who he is. A stowaway. He could be anyone. But I'm glad that you're here.
Standard story of an ROV pilot. Randomly walk in.
Yeah, how'd you get your start? I just showed up. and it was dinner time.
But yeah, did you get some good nourishment? Some good food in you? Yes, please answer the question.
Yeah,
Unless
yeah,
I
sure.
call you another mystery man.
Yes, it was basically what Johan said.
You had the exact same plate.
Good choice.
Yeah,
They made it together.
This was peer reviewed,
We
this
shared.
plate.
it was the same plate.
front row camaraderie.
Like twinsies. I just had a big old salad and I threw that chicken breast on there, and the chicken breast was actually really delicious. I just tried it while I stashed it, and I did though put a piece of pizza because I need some carbs because I've been like getting a lot of running in and stuff.
Yeah.
So extra fuel.
That's awesome. Spoken like an athlete and an engineer.
And I grabbed a cookie.
Yeah.
I deserve a cookie.
Nice.
And,
Everyone deserves
and to Sarah, like,
Everyone
yes.
deserves a
Yeah.
cookie.
Yeah. You should always have some sweetness. But yeah, I just wanted to check in with everyone. We'll just go around the room. How do you feel about, having completed our first dive today? And what do you hope to experience during this expedition? Since we started with the back last time, I'd love to start with the front. Erin.
How am I feeling?
Yeah, how are you feeling, and what are you kind of looking forward to in terms of this expedition?
I'm feeling good. I feel like we have an excellent watch. One might say the best watch.
Ooh.
Start some fights downstairs. No, I'm just looking forward to, more time exploring. And hopefully some better visibility.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's hope so too. And thank you so much for sharing. How about you, Sarah?
I am good. I am glad we got a full shift in this morning. It would have been, I mean, I always want more diving. So, but I'm glad we at least, a little bit of blue water's okay. But I'm looking forward to our next dive. Gosh, what do I want to see? Of course, I want to see some vents. I love seeing I'd love to see an active underwater volcano system, of course. And I always squeal when I see any sort of octopus or squid. And if we somehow see an anglerfish, I'll just be like, so, I really have to refrain, and I mute myself a lot because I cannot help the noises that come out
I think you should let them go.
I want to tell you that this is a safe space.
Can
because
I block you from muting things?
Yeah, this is a completely safe space. I also love cephalopods, and I will freak out with you. You will not be alone in that.
Excellent.
But yeah, thank you so much. Ben, what are you grateful for, and how are you feeling, and what are you looking forward to?
What am I grateful for? Well, I'm grateful that I got put on this watch with all these great people.
Aww.
I really need.
You already shared a plate with Johan.
That's right.
We're doing really great.
I mean, you have a doctor next to you.
We're feeding each other.
Practicing arms.
But yeah, like, what are you looking forward to? That's wonderful.
Looking forward to? Well, hopefully we find a giant squid. Last month we saw a colossal squid.
What?
So this month, I'm hoping to get the...
Do you want to see the adult this time?
Yes.
You saw a colossal squid?
They're only in Antarctica, so
yeah.
I don't think we'll find them here because it's so hot. But I think the giant squid is in these waters.
Yeah.
And the chat might be able to fix that for me. But yeah, it'd be awesome to find something like that, or an anglerfish, or a barrel-like fish, or I really love those.
Oh, what's the big giant jelly? What's it called? I always...
Deep Staria.
Deep Staria, those are beautiful too.
Those
get really big. But I think you're talking about the Medusa.
You're talking about the big, dark, purple one.
Black Medusa one? Or, yeah, what is it called?
Wow. I know, it's gotten away from me right now.
I know. Those are beautiful. They get really long. They're huge.
Yeah.
What else is fun
Thank
to
you.
watch?
Thank you so much for sharing. I'm also very excited for those cool little critters. Johan, yeah, how are you feeling? What are you grateful for, and what are you looking forward to?
I'm feeling good. This was our first dive, and I feel like I was shaking off some cobwebs, but things are starting to click back into place. And yeah, I agree with everyone's expressions that I think this might be the best shift on the boat. And I think we're going to have a good time. Yeah.
Well, we were until we go downstairs and everybody's listening into this.
They'll never switch in for our dinner ever again.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's wonderful. And shaking off the cobwebs. You're an amazing and capable person, so it's no surprise to me. that you are doing amazing. Evie, how are you feeling? And what are you looking forward to?
I'm feeling pretty good. First dive, I like to keep my expectations extremely low so that they can always be surpassed. So I would love to see an underwater eruption. That would be like top amazing thing. But again, I'll keep my expectations low. And I'm feeling a little sad now, guys, because I was asked to move to a different shift, so now I'm going to be off the best shift.
Oh, what?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
You're just now breaking this news?
I know,
Wow.
I'm sorry to break this to you guys. I didn't want, it was out of my hands.
Who's swapping? Who's swapping?
I'm swapping with Kelsey, so I will be on the 12 to
she's
4.
She's coming
I
back
bet
to
that's
this
a good
one.
shift too, though.
Yeah, okay. I'm a little concerned about the sleep, but we'll just see how it goes.
You just sleep through breakfast.
Okay.
Yeah, are you doing okay? Like,
Oh, yeah. I'm great right now.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, whatever happens, if you do have to go, like, we will miss you.
Thank you.
Yeah, but like, you know,
I'll miss you guys too.
like, yeah, like, you're wonderful. And honestly, I'm just really grateful for whatever time we have with each other.
Thank you
So,
for logging our data.
Yeah.
Of course, of course.
But yeah, thank you so much for that. Eva,
Yeah,
how are you feeling and what are you looking forward to?
I'm feeling good. I'm very grateful to be here on Nautilus for the first time, but also it's my first time in Micronesia and in Guam. So that's really exciting. I would really like to see some more echinoderms, well, just any echinoderms. We haven't seen any yet. Some starfish, that's what I'm particularly keen on. I'd also like to see some parasites. I want us to see some invertebrates with invertebrate parasites, because that's what I'm into.
Interesting.
And one of my tasks here is to try find some new species. So I'd like to try and find some of those, and some amphipods, of course.
That's a really healthy list.
Yeah.
Yeah. How often do you find new species in your line of work?
It depends where you are. The area I normally work in is sort of the bit called the Clarion-Clipperton Zone, which is in the Central Pacific. It's like an abyssal plain, and there about 90% of this like specimens we get are new species. So it's like it's more surprising when you get something you know what it is. That's like everyone gets super excited. If we're like, oh, thank God, we know what this one is. But around here, I don't think there's been a huge amount of sampling. So there's potentially a lot of new stuff out there.
Wow, that's so exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait. This was just our first dive and it was so much fun. We saw all these shrimp clouds and these squat lobsters. So I can't wait for what we'll see next. Thank you so much for sharing. But yeah, I'm feeling great. And so grateful that we get to share this space together and to get to know each other as we kind of explore the waters of this beautiful place. I'm excited for squid. We saw on the Palau expedition a magna pinna, which is
Oh, no way.
for a brief moment. And so if I see one in just
Oh
full
my God.
clarity, I would freak out.
That's so cool.
Any sort of squids. I pray. I also love cnidarians, so jellyfish, anemones. I'm all for it. So.
Hey, Amanda and back row, I think as we're approaching this point, we kind of have to
be
focus
quiet?
on the operations stuff and kind of wind down on these lovely conversations. So
No, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sorry to put a damper on it, but
No problem.
yeah.
Thank you for checking in.
bridge control. Hey, Oriole. Did the captain make it to the bridge yet? Excellent, thanks. Yeah. I'll stop at 50. Deck control. Where I'll stop at 50 meters.
How to say? Just a reminder that we're at operational talk only now.
What's 0? Oh, got 30 meters. Should be almost there. 10 meters.
Yeah, I'm going to stop your mezzas.
Thank you. It might
Control,
be
control, back
frame.
deck, I got eyes on Herc, lining up to port outside the rail.
Copy that. Port outside the rail. We'll center up.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Yeah, the beacons don't really work on the surface, so
Right.
it's unfortunate that we have to rely on the visual here.
No. Oh, oops. I did have auto hitting. The auto hitting is definitely the set point.
Control, control, back deck, I got Hercules lining back up, center line of the goalpost.
Copy that.
I see it.
Yeah.
Let's see if lateral will give me anything. I don't think. I think I'm. Okay, right. I think I'm right behind the ship now. So I'm just gonna.
Ooh.
Did we lose it? Oh wow! Oh, by the monkey's fist. Nice.
How is that holding on?
There's a monkey's fist that's stuck in the grate.
Oh, I see.
Ooh.
Deck control.
Control, go for back deck.
Be advised, we have Orion securing some instrumentation on the front deck and a knife kind of dangling off our front porch.
Good call.
Deck copies, dangling front porch.
Right, right. Let me get that up, actually. Yeah, we can leave all the hydraulics on until we're. Yeah, we could probably kill tracking. Yeah.
That stuff I don't really care about. This is usually the lights and the sonar.
If I'm in the wrong spot. All right. I've just been letting it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just underneath. Huh? No, no, I'm right here. Just directly underneath the. See me there? All right, looks like the slack's coming off. So now I'm just coming around here.
Control back deck. That is Hercules 10 meters from the transom.
Is that appropriate?
Copy that. Herc 10 from the transom. Yeah.
I just drive around and like I would get out, go up, move ahead, move the ship. They got pretty big there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as you come around, he'll say 10 meters from the transom, passing the transom, and then you kind of just continue and laddering along the ship. Yeah.
Okay.
Control back deck. That's Hercules passing the transom.
Copy that. Herc past the transom.
Control back deck. That's Hercules coming out of the water.
Copy. Herc coming out of the water.
Bypass off. Thrusters disabled. Okay. Just in case I don't know.
And you can just slam everything else off with the high voltage controller when you want, when you're ready.
Okay.
I'm interested to see if they'll chirp at you before you're over the right.
Okay.
They're gonna want their not right, with their hands on it. Pretty.
Yeah.
Just kill it.
I don't want the arms to droop. Is that okay? Like, is that going to kill the valves in the?
No, the Orion will be okay.
Okay.
That's
The
all
craft.
the hot valves in it.
All right. Here, killing power now.
Deck control. Power is secure.
Soft valves everywhere, even the jaws actually, which is kind of neat.
Copies, main secured.